Greetings everyone. Hi, it's Marlita here. I am coming to you today from my apartment, and I just came back from a weekend in Seoul, and part of that adventure and exploration included taking a day trip to the DMZ. That's the demilitarization zone, which is in between North and South Korea. And I really wanted to record this because I have a background and very strong interest in conflict resolution and current events, and being that I am living here, of course I was going to take advantage of the opportunity to see with my own two eyes what is happening in the news, and just base my own opinion on the experience that I had. So prior to coming to Korea, I actually wasn't that knowledgeable of the conflict between the two countries, which really, if you look at it, it really was one country, and hopefully again it will be reunified. So as I'm sure most of you know, there was a meeting that took place last Friday. That's April 27th, 2018. Last Friday, a meeting took place between President Moon of South Korea and Kim Jong-un of North Korea, which took place at the DMZ. So the beginning of this video, as you saw, is a recording of that initial meeting and photo op which took place, but I thought it would be a good way to segue into the conversation that I am recording now. So I will share some video, rather some photos from yesterday from the tour I took, which I took on Sunday, May 6th, 2018. Again, Sunday, May 6th, 2018. And you'll see in the images that I'll share that it's very solace, it's very subdued, and it's very sad, in my opinion, that this small area exists between the two countries. And if I understood correctly, there's about 200 people that live within the DMZ, and you'll see in one of the photos that I was actually able to see North Korea from an observation deck. Unfortunately, it was really rainy yesterday, but you can still see an outline of what does exist, including a flagpole from which is standing, I believe, in a North Korean town. So that was pretty powerful. In addition, I did go down the third tunnel. There are 4 tunnels that are known of to date that exist from North Korea to South Korea, and back in the day, actually not so far long ago, we're talking about maybe 20 years ago, these were discovered, and perhaps some years prior to that. And again, I am not a history expert here, so forgive me if I'm fudging up dates. Do your own research to be more knowledgeable. But I was able to take a tour down to what is known as the third tunnel and really see the perspective as to how close, literally how close everything is, and then to see that North Korea had the intention of using this tunnel to get to Seoul and perhaps attack is pretty intense. So there's that. Additionally, what else happened yesterday? Actually, what was really, everything that comes to mind is honestly sadness, because this is Korea and Korea. So these are people that are all Korean who literally live so close but in such different worlds. And I think about conflict that I've witnessed throughout my life, such as early on in my career, I lived in the Middle East. I lived in Israel, but I did conflict resolution work with Arab and Jewish, Marla, get your facts right. I did work with Arab Israeli and Jewish Israelis, and people don't realize that 20% of the population in Israel is Arab Israeli. So at least, there was people coming from different cultures and different backgrounds, and I witnessed conflict when I went to South Africa in 1996, 2 years after apartheid ended, and the intensity between black and white was still there. So I've witnessed and had experiences like that, unfortunately, more times than I count living in America. But to see such conflict and being able to put that in perspective after going to the DMZ between Korea and Korea, it just really makes me sad, because this is all Korea. Again, this is my opinion, my experience. But that is really my takeaway from visiting the DMZ. And it's interesting, a lot of people here really don't talk about it. I had one cab driver, obviously ask me where I was from and essentially telling me he did not like our president. So I'm not saying anything there, but that was his opinion. And that was an older gentleman, and my sense is that that seems to be the consensus. Again, I could be off mark, but this is just my observation so far. So I think there's still a lot of bitterness from the history of the Korean War and all the conflict that has existed. But perhaps there's hope. The tour guide yesterday, she said there's hope for peace. And that would be pretty amazing. That would be really amazing to be here in South Korea while that possibly could happen. Until then, I continue to be a news junkie, and I will keep my eyes and ears open by absorbing as much information as possible. And please enjoy this recount of what happened. Most of the images here are photos rather than video because it was just easier to do. And you'll see at the end of the video, I actually randomly was able to catch the DMZ train going up to the train station, which one day would actually allow people to go into North Korea. That was random. I was just on my way back to Changwon from Seoul. I'm like, oh, how perfect is that? So enjoy, take this with a grain of salt or absorb as much as you want. Comment below about your thoughts about the possibility of there being some treaty and resolution between North and South Korea. And peace out, literally and figuratively.